And that's what we are talking today about, the client-side risk, the blind spot of client-side risk. Thousands of lines of code, hundreds of applications, all running on our own consumers, on our own retailers, buyers, and without good option today to protect.
Thank you. Dan, this next question is for you. You know, you're leading one of the biggest e-com platforms in the world. How do you see this new threat rising?
You know, it's not the oldest thing in the world, especially from an AppSec standpoint. You know, it's not like cross-site or SQL injection in terms of vulnerabilities, classic vulns, if you will, that have been with us for, you know, decades. I think, you know, what's fascinating here, I think, is when you've got an attack type that is maturing, meaning that's not a flash in the pan or just a trend, you know, something like MageCart's been around for, you know, 7 years or so. If it's really good, you know, it starts to mature, right? So you've got this, just like we have, you know, life cycles for everything. You've got this, you know, someone figures it out, the initial creator or researcher, or whatever the case might be. Then you get a couple of groups that adopt it. And then if the attack type is really good in terms of ROI from the attacker standpoint, you know, eventually you end up with it as a service. And I think that's certainly the story of MageCart. I think that's when things get really scary, because it just, the easier it becomes from the attacker standpoint, the worse it is from the defender standpoint. The thing that has always helped from an application security standpoint is that a lot of the attacks were, you know, took some level of effort. Not like, oh, you know, understanding SQL injection or cross-site might be necessarily very difficult relative to other attack types, but still you have to understand the application on the other side. It's harder to do the classic, you know, spray and pray sort of types of attacks. And so that's always been a leg up from the defender standpoint, is the attackers generally have to care to a degree to really come after you. The more these attack types mature, the easier it gets for them, the worse it gets for us.